What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Guys, I had a special request from Gert. They sent me this video from Traveling Young. I did a video. I believe the lady lived in the Netherlands, and there was like a paperless way to do everything, and I forgot what theirs were called, but this is their in Denmark, or yeah, Denmark. This is their NemID. Traveling Young said it blows their mind. Definitely different. First time I ever heard about these type of things. So we finna see what the NemID is about. Y'all hit that subscribe button, send down those recommendations, and let's learn us something. Or at least
one thing that blew our mind after we moved here
was NemID.
We're the Youngs.
We've spent our lives traveling the world, and in 2018 we moved from
Chicago, Illinois to
Copenhagen, Denmark. Now we want to share with you
how our new lives abroad
is keeping us young. Keeping us young.
are helping to keep us young. Hey Maya, what are we here for?
I'm here to fix my NemID.
Welcome back to Traveling Young. And as you can see, Maya just recently had an issue with her NemID.
Yeah, and one of the things that we get asked all the time is what was one of the most surprising things about moving to Denmark that just kind of blew your mind? And I think people ask us that expecting us to say, you know, naked women on the side of the bus or all of the drinking or, you know, just anything, but not NemIDs.
No, but when you move here and you live here, you just look at things differently because you have to operate daily like a normal person. And NemID isn't something that exists in the US. And so we wanted to talk a little bit about, you know, why it's important, why it's not in the US, and what is it like in the US. I guess I can't say why it's not in the US, but what it's like in the US. And what are the real...
I see that somebody said it's like the paperless, everything's paperless. I mean, don't get me wrong, like I feel like individual companies, they have certain things that can go paperless, but I think the one that I heard about in the Netherlands, I think it was like one button and everything was in there. Like from your taxes, like they had all your information. If you were to move or something, like it goes with you, like because you have this thing. Like you don't have to re-put your own information in. They know where you at type of thing.
benefits. And so originally I actually had this whole like instructional video, and I was like, I shot the whole thing and I was speaking slowly, and then I basically was wanting to take a nap when I was editing it because my voice was slow and low. And I was like,
you had the radio voice on.
So we decided to shift this around a little bit and instead do something that's a bit more informal, our normal style. But NemID is just super interesting to me as a geek, as a tech person, because it just isn't something that happens at home. And it's something that we needed to get used to. And I got to tell you, when I first came here, and I was here before you, so I dealt with this a lot before you. I was here for like a whole month before, and I set up the bank accounts, I set everything up ahead of time. But I got here and I got this card, and I was like, I have to pull this out every single time I want to log into my bank account. This is crazy. If I'm like at the office and I want to quickly look at something, it's like, oh, take out my wallet, pull out this card. I'd never seen anything like this. It was just crazy.
It made me feel like, I don't know if any of you have ever seen the movie War Games, but I always felt like the guys at the beginning that had to get like the nuclear codes out and like crack the card and like get the special code out. And it was just so crazy because we just don't do that. We don't have that level of security really for anything in the US, I feel like.
Yeah, and they didn't, we didn't have the app at the time. So now obviously the app does make it much easier. But it was just really strange to get used to.
When the app came out, like of course nowadays everything's so convenient with the apps of everything. I feel like every company just about got an app. They do make it easier. The apps make it easier.
Obviously the app does make it much easier. But it was just really strange to get used to. But now I see there's so much benefit to it. So just real quick, I'm not going to get super geeky, but I am going to say what it is called two-factor authentication. I'm only going to say that word once. A couple words once. Two-factor, I said it again. Jeez, I keep saying it. Anyway, that's it. I'm not going to say it anymore. But what it basically means is you have to use two things to log in. One of them is this card or the app. And that's something physically that you had in your presence that only you would potentially have with.
Okay, I've seen, I know my bank accounts and stuff. They started doing those too, and YouTube does it now. The two, I ain't even gonna say it either. It sounds difficult, but they give you two options to log in, and basically all you do, like if you're already logged in or have your stuff, your credentials on the app and stuff, you just have to go click on the app, and it will pop up everything real quick, like the two-factor thing, something. I don't know.
And the other thing is your PIN code and your CPR number, which is something that you've got up in your head that hopefully you also only know. And that's so much more secure than just like a username and password.
Yeah.
And it's just, I mean, there's so many situations where this exists in the world already. Like an ATM card. You go to a bank, you have to have the ATM card to take the bank out. You need the PIN number to take money out. Those two things together are meant to authenticate who you are. I said authenticate again.
It's okay.
Oh, my goodness. Boy, at least I'm not like putting myself to sleep like I was earlier. But it's just, you know, I think you take these things for granted when you're living here, the fact that there's all this extra security, and all that's tied to important stuff like bank accounts and credit cards and your health information. All that is in this NemID.
Wow. Yeah, and I think, you know, at the time when Maya did this, I don't know what she did. She messed up her NemID, and she messed up the password and all this kind of stuff, and it was this big ordeal. And we were really irritated about it. But then, you know, after a while, especially because we had to go down to the Citizen Center to get it in person, and she had to have her card with her. And it just seemed so irritating at the time, but it's because it's so secure. You have to go in person to get this.
Yeah, if you were to just call on the phone to fix it, you could just be a hacker that's calling on the phone.
Yeah, you could be anybody.
Trying to make, you know, so that extra level of authenticate is necessary in order to make it work, even when you have an issue with hers where she forgot her number and she got locked out and we had to go in person. We had to drive up to Pinstall to do that, which was super annoying, but it's all for good reason.
Yeah.
So what might be interesting is in the US, what do we have instead of NemID?
Basically nothing.
Absolutely nothing, no.
Nothing.
No, so basically
just have individual things that you have to just go in. Like everything's not in one place, which it will be good, especially if it's super secure, because I feel like every company, it's all individual and they have their own little securities, but still certain things still get hacked or stuff. You know what I'm saying? Especially like if you were to lose your card and all that stuff, people can easily access your information too easy here.
What you need to do is have a username and password in the more traditional sense, like you would on any website, for everything. So you have a bank. I mean, when I left, we had a bank account, we had 2 credit card accounts, we had our home loan, we had a car loan. You know, these are all like financial stuff. We had multiple retirement accounts. And of course, if you're maintaining all these usernames and password, it's unlikely that you're going to have different ones. You're probably going to have the same one.
There was a lot of password reusing, which you're really not supposed to do. And you would use really easy passwords. Like, I can't tell you how many times, you know, people would just set their password to be like 5 1s.
Yeah, well, those are not us, by the way.
No, not us.
But still, the problem though is you also have logins like you do here. There's things that you log into here that are not protected by NemID, like maybe your SAS, you know, frequent flyer, you know, account, or your hotel account with, you know, Radisson or whatever it might be, right? These are all things that you don't have NemID for. But the problem is, in the US, you still also likely use the same username and password for those accounts as you do for the super important secure ones.
That's true.
So all hackers have to do is not get into the bank. They just need to get into that like random
simple
bookstore that you bought something with online. You probably use the same username and password. They can lift that and then just try it across every bank, all these different places, and eventually they're going to get hits.
That makes a lot of sense. That makes a whole lot of sense. And I don't know if you know, like Apple even has it to where they save your passwords and stuff. And I don't know if you have to put in a code. Usually if you want to view your password, I think they do the face recognition type of thing. I don't think you have to put in a code, but just imagine if somebody got your phone, they can get into your password, they can see everything.
That, and then just try it across every bank, all these different places, and eventually they're going to get hits. So it's not at all secure.
No.
And it's crazy to me now that I'm here. There, it just seemed like everyday normal. Why, you know, that's just how it is. I didn't even know that this was possible. I mean, I guess I kind of knew because I had special types of logins for work stuff, but still.
I never thought you would use that for just everyday life. Like, I think we were familiar with it having been in DC. That is very, very common if you're working for the federal government or if you're working for the military, that they have those two-factor authentication.
You can say
I said it. The two-factor authentication. Because a lot of times people would have their password, but they'd also have like the dongle that you would put in your computer.
Or you'd have like a thing that generates a random number. That was a key fob that you'd use. You get that number, which I think is what things used to be actually, maybe even here at some point. But but I mean, the fact that it's used for like everyday stuff for you is just, and that it's a universal login. And you don't have to remember these things. It's the same process if you're logging into I mean, it's just super cool. And what makes it even nicer is with the app on the phone, you likely have additional security on your phone, some kind of PIN code, your face, or a thumbprint necessary to get into your phone. So there's actually kind of another layer of security there, which is just super neat. But in the US, I mean, it's just crazy to me.
It's pandemonium.
Crazy. Yeah, so things that have
most apps actually use, like, for instance, like different bank account apps or bank apps or whatever you may have. Most people use the Face ID, but usually if it can't recognize your face, it will pop up your password and stuff. So it still give you that option.
Started happening, I've noticed, because I still have bank accounts in the US. Some of my bank accounts are just same old username and password nonsense. Sometimes if they recognize that you've logged in from a different IP address than you've ever done before, or maybe something ID on the computer is different, they might prompt an extra layer of security question. I logged into one the other day that I hadn't in a while, and it made me open up the app on my phone to confirm. So there's some stuff starting to happen, but the problem is it's not universal. It's a different process for all these different accounts. It's not the same, and it's not kind of centrally managed. So that extra layer of trust that you have here, because you're using the same thing for all these accounts, just doesn't really happen there, because it's just whatever Bank of America decides to try to do, whatever Morgan Stanley decides that they want to try to do, whatever Chase decides that they want to do, and it's just crazy to me now.
But
it's crazy.
I wonder if it hasn't taken off because people kind of feel like that would be kind of Big Brother. Kind of a Big Brother thing.
I don't think it's ever been communicated enough for that to even... But you'd think banks would be motivated because they're often liable for some of the fraudulent activities that happen. So you'd think they'd kind of unite in some kind of consortium in order to...
I would think so, but it's about money and stuff. So people want to be better than the other. But that would be better if they did do something like that. You're better together.
To make sure something's there to protect them so they're not having to deal with all this fraud. I do want to point out, though, that some accounts like Google and Facebook and Instagram, Apple, Microsoft, they offer two-factor
authentication.
I didn't want to say it. But not through NemID. They have separate ways of doing it. In some cases, there's like a third party.
Yeah, that's what they definitely do. Most of them still require your, what's the name? Like, you can do the two-factor authentication thing or whatever, but most of them you still have to put your password in. But I know with YouTube, they do the two-factor thing. And you just log in. It'll let you know, hey, this person is trying to log in from this. It'll let you know the city, state, or country that you're in and stuff like that. So most of them, like most of the high social medias, they already ahead of the game.
Party app that you can use, or you can say text me a number on my phone that's like a single use number login. If you haven't done this for those accounts, please do it. Absolutely do it, because the thing about those accounts is often it's not just information about you, but you might have information about friends and family of yours through Facebook or something that you wouldn't want other people to get to if it was you. So I would encourage you to do multi-factor authentication for all those apps if you haven't already. And basically all the big ones, like I said, Facebook, Google, Instagram, all these offer some kind of way to have that second level of authentication.
And that's especially true because a lot of websites are starting to use the single sign-on, so using a social account as your password to get in. So that gives you that kind of added level of security as, everything starts being kind of interconnected. And I think it's, it just makes it, that extra step makes it a bit safer.
All right. So I hope that wasn't too boring. it's just, I think it's super interesting. And honestly, it's one of the things that I really appreciate about Denmark.
Not only is it interesting, I feel like it's necessary. Like, because people out here scamming people and doing whatever they can to take from people every day. It's a sad thing. So people need to be protected. I feel like this video was definitely informative, necessary.
Since moving here, that I didn't expect at all. I thought it'd be, we're gonna go visit castles, and we do that. But I also didn't think there'd be these other everyday parts of life that people probably take for granted, because if you've never lived out of Denmark, you wouldn't necessarily realize how the other part of the world lives. At least in America, that's the only other place I've been. And I was blown away. So I think it's super interesting, and I wanted to share that with you guys because I appreciate that part of Denmark now that I live here. So the other thing is, we did try something on Tuesday, but we decided to do it at the end of the video so that we can get through this whole monologue of NemID. And so now, if you hold on a second, we're going to go ahead and show you when Maya was here before she went back to school. Tried on Tuesday. Here we are, tried on Tuesday, and Maya, what are we eating?
Today we are eating kai, which I'm very excited about because I always see these and I really want them because my favorite animal is frogs.
Look like frogs. I was about to say, look like little monsters.
Frogs, and it's a frog.
But now you have to eat a frog.
I know, I'm kind of sad about it, but it's also Kai, and I've never watched the show, but I know that Kai, the little puppet, he's so cute. So.
And I have to say that we got this at the bakery right next to Jesper and the butcher that we went to get the smørrebrød from, because we went back. But I didn't have my camera with me, so I have zero footage of that. But I will put the link down in the description so you know where we went and got these guys. And let's go ahead and eat. I'll take whichever one.
Okay. I'm sure we're supposed to eat this with a cake fork, and you guys are going to destroy us for
it's
eating
so,
with our hands.
Wet.
Let's go.
Ooh. Okay, you ready?
Mm-hmm. That look good.
This is good.
Kai tastes good.
Yeah. What do you think, Maya? You took a tiny bite.
I have a small mouth. I don't know how to feel.
You didn't even get to the inside.
Okay, sorry.
There you go. That looks like it got some filling or something in there.
I don't know. It's good. There's marzipan.
Oh, not this again.
What is it?
It's good. It's good. And he's so cute. I feel really bad about eating him. And I did take the perfect little bite.
I think it's super good. I like this raspberry-ish or strawberry, whatever the filling is.
It's quite sweet, so I think I could probably only eat half a Kai. But
half a Kai. The cake actually kind of reminds me of those little Italian cakes. But it's quite good, I will say.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another Tried on Tuesday in the books.
Thumbs up for Kai. Good news, my NemID works again.
All right, so after Tried on Tuesday, really quickly, I showed you the conclusion of Maya's story, which Miranda already mentioned, but we went all the way to Hundestol, and she got her NemID replaced, got it fixed. She's all good. Now she can use mobile pay. This was, by the way, I think the whole reason for this was so that she can get chocolate milk from the vending machine with mobile pay. At her
hey, that mobile pay makes a difference. You ain't gotta carry your wallet and all that stuff, but
at her after school. So that's basically why we did this whole thing. I mean, it's important, yes, but she was really driven to make sure she can get because mobile pay is super important, because that's the only way she can get the kakio.
The kakio. We said it right.
So anyway, thank you so much as always. We really appreciate it. We've got a video on Friday from the Copenhagen Zoo, where all of us walk around. We had a great time over the weekend. It was gorgeous weather. We walked around and we talked about our favorite animals to visit at the zoo. And there's a special guest. We won't disclose who that is yet. Special guest joined us for that one. So that was a lot of fun. Please pay attention for that on Friday. And boy, I guess that's all we got.
Yeah. All right. Till next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye. I feel like we should
raise
it up. It's the Tried on Tuesday.
They almost dropped them. But no, this was good. This was definitely good. I always enjoy Traveling Young's video. I feel like they need I know this is their channel, but I feel like I should see them on TV or something. I don't know. It's weird. But no, this was good. The NemID, this was even an eye-opener for me to make sure our stuff is safe. I feel like security is important. Security is important because people work hard out here. People, do what they need to do to make ends meet and stuff. And it sucks that people are out here really scamming for a profession and really stealing from people as a profession. It's crazy out here, but definitely got to protect yourself. Always good, convenient when these apps and these sites have protection and security for your information, because people can steal your identity too, but definitely enjoy this. Thank you, Gert, for sending me this video and just knowing and learning a little bit more about NemID. But that's all I have for this video. Y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button, send on those recommendations, and y'all be blessed, be the best, and be you. I'm out.